I'd been working the night shift at the Apple store for what felt like an eternity. The sterile glow of the store's LED lights had become my only constant, a reminder that the world outside had long since gone to sleep. My coworkers and I would often joke that we were the guardians of the store, the keepers of its secrets. But there were secrets, ones that we weren't privy to, strange rules that we were expected to follow, without question or explanation. It started with small things, the way we had to stack the iPads, the precise angle at which the iPhones had to be displayed. But as time went on, the rules grew stranger and more invasive. We were told to always wear our name tags even when we were alone in the store. We were instructed to never speak to the cleaning staff, to treat them as if they were invisible. And then there were the cameras, dozens of them installed throughout the store, their cold, dead eyes watching our every move. At first I tried to brush it off as mere paranoia, but as the nights wore on, I began to feel a creeping sense of dread. It was as if the store itself was watching me, waiting for me to slip up so it could pounce. I tried to talk to my coworkers about it, but they just laughed it off. "You're just being paranoid," they'd say. But I knew what I felt, and I knew that I wasn't alone. There were whispers, rumors of strange occurrences that had happened in the store after hours. Equipment would malfunction and strange noises could be heard coming from the vents. Some even claimed to have seen shadowy figures darting around the edges of the store. I didn't know what to believe, but I knew one thing. I had to get to the bottom of it. I started to snoop around the store looking for any clues that might explain the strange rules and the eerie atmosphere. And then one night I stumbled upon something that would change everything. A hidden room tucked away in the store's basement. A room that was filled with rows and rows of old computers, their screens glowing with an otherworldly light. I knew then that I had uncovered something sinister, something that threatened to destroy not just my sanity but my very soul. And I knew that I had to get out of there before it was too late. But as I turned to leave, I felt a hand on my shoulder. A cold, clammy hand that seemed to be pulling me back into the heart of the store. And then everything went black. When I came to, I was back in the store's main room, surrounded by my coworkers. They were all staring at me, their faces filled with concern. "What happened?" I asked, trying to sit up. "You fainted," one of them replied. "We found you lying on the floor." I tried to remember what had happened, but my mind was a blank. I knew that I had to get out of there, to escape the store's clutches. But as I stood up, I felt a strange sensation. It was as if the store was pulling me back, trying to keep me from leaving. I knew then that I was in grave danger. I had to get out of there no matter what. I turned to my coworkers and told them that I was leaving. They looked at me in surprise, but they didn't try to stop me. As I walked out of the store, I felt a sense of relief wash over me. I was finally free. But as I looked back at the store, I saw something that made my blood run cold. The store's windows were filled with faces that I recognized. They were the faces of my coworkers, and they were all staring at me, their eyes filled with a malevolent glow. I knew then that I had made a terrible mistake. I had thought that I was escaping the store, but in reality I was just walking into its clutches. The store had me now, and it would never let me go.